Hello everyone, and welcome to another Keeping It Real with Rob and Ning. Ning, I'm really excited about sharing today's episode. It's a story of Bob and Anna, special friends of ours now.
Yes.
Special clients. We met them back in 2012.
During that time, Rob, nung makausap ko si Bob, the first time, nararamdaman ko yung kanyang pag-aalala dahil dun sa kanyang underwater property. Mas malaki yung utang niya sa property kesa dun sa value at that time, na kapag ka binenta niya, magbabayad siya ng more than $100,000 sa IRS. And would you imagine? And yung property na yun is bakante, it's vacant, and then nagre-rent siya during that time. And in fact, nagkakaproblema na siya sa kanyang health at saka sa kanyang relationship with the wife, because kasi si Bob, parang ini-internalize niya lahat yung kanyang problema by himself hanggat maaari.
Yeah, that was over 10 years ago. And now he's a great investor. He has his own beautiful home.
Yes.
And things are very good for him now.
That's
I mean,
correct.
how did he do that?
Let's watch. Panoorin natin.
Bagong kasal pa lamang sina Bob at Anna nang magsimula ang mga problema ni Mister sa kanyang investment property na pinapaupahan niya.
So I bought an investment property in Union City, California, back in 2002. At that time, the real estate market had gone upside down, and my debt on that property was actually much greater than the value of the house. And so I was really underwater.
Malaki ang halagang nawawala kay Bob buwan-buwan ng mga panahong yun.
On top of the rent that I had to pay, which was probably close to $2,500 a month, and then I had the negative cash flow on my Union City house, so it was probably about $4,500 negative a month.
Nagpakonsulta si Bob sa dalawang tax attorney, ngunit wala pa rin silang mahanap na solusyon. Kahit paano tingnan ni Bob ang kanyang suliranin, talagang lugi o talunan ang kahihinatnan nito.
If I moved back into the Union City house, I would have to pay the full mortgage again, which would be about $4,500. And if I were to sell the Union City house, I would have to short sell it. And to short sell it, I would have to have some loan forgiveness on that, which would then incur some taxes of maybe cap gain taxes of maybe about $100,000.
Bagamat kapiling ni Bob noon ang kanyang bagong asawa, hindi niya itinuring itong katuwang pagdating sa mga hinaharap niyang problemang pinansyal. Pero nakakahalata na rin si Mrs.
I kept it from my wife partly because I didn't want to stress her out, because she's fairly new coming over from the Philippines here.
That time I was like going to school, and then nag-aalaga din ako ng anak ko, and then I was working too. So siguro ayaw niya sigurong ma-overwhelm din ako.
I think she can kind of feel it in terms of my stress levels. Every day she could see some how it impacted me emotionally.
Agitated. He's always agitated, seryoso. Minsan tahimik. I was thinking, ba't ganun? Parang lagi siyang tahimik. Tapos, lagi siyang parang may iniisip. So, iniisip ko, baka mamaya nagsisisi ba siya? Dinala niya ako dito.
Kung underwater po yung ating property, ang ibig sabihin po noon is mas malaki yung utang natin kesa dun sa value ng property. And kung matatandaan po natin, 2007, 2008, nung mag-crash ang real estate market, kaya po siya naging biktima siya noon. So let me just say then, na kaya siya merong potential IRS liability doon is kasi po na-refinance yung property multiple times.
Yeah.
So, dito po sa California, we are a non-recourse state. Ang ibig sabihin po noon, kung let's say we bought a house and then hindi natin siya ni-refinance, tapos naging underwater tayo doon sa bahay na yon, pag binenta po natin yon, merong forgiveness of debt doon during that time. Pero because these are refinance home, kaya po meron siyang potential na tax consequence.
Yeah, I mean, that's the sad part about those times, right?
Yes,
You could have a home and be underwater, and that in itself is very stressful. But to have taxes on top of it to get rid of it, very painful. And so that's why Bob was so stressed.
Right. And then, napag-usapan din natin yung wala pa siyang bahay noon. Wala siyang sarili niyang property. And ito pong underwater home na to, he used to live there, and then na-convert siya into a rental property, and then nawalan siya ng tenant. So ngayon, nagbabayad na siya ng rent, nagbabayad pa rin siya ng mortgage.
Yeah.
Kaya parang talagang, hindi niya na naiisip na with his good income, pwede siyang bumili ng bahay kasi talagang nakafocus lang siya doon sa kanyang underwater property.
Yeah. And, and the thing is, he's recently married with Anna, and she didn't really know what was going on, right?
Yeah.
Bob kept it to himself, right? He just wanted to shield her from all that bad news.
Yeah. Kasi parang ang hirap naman noon na nakikita mo na nagsasuffer yung husband mo, tapos parang hindi mo naman alam kung ano talaga yung nangyayari sa kanila, right? I mean, parang you wanted to be a part of it and you want to help, kaya nga lang how kung yung asawa mo is not telling you everything?
No, I know. And that's the unfortunate thing, because I know Bob wanted to shield her, right? I mean, she's just new over to America. The last thing you want to do is, present all these, these bad things, right?
And in fairness din naman kay Bob, on the other hand, very complicated po yung real estate during that time kasi nag-crash ang real estate market. And so how can you explain that to someone na kagagaling lang ng Philippines? Because sa Philippines, ibang-iba ang real estate business doon compared dito sa Amerika.
Good thing about Bob, right? He searches for answers. He didn't give up, even after consulting attorneys, and then he finally called us. And then what happened?
Paano nga po ba namin nasolusyonan ni Rob ang problema ni Bob? Well, sa pagbabalik po ng Keeping It Real with Rob and Ning, malalaman natin.
If I look back, parang feeling ko lang I was useless. I was useless na wala akong magawa para tumulong sa asawa ko.
Save up to 50% on your electric bill with Sunrun. Use the QR code on your screen to ask about no upfront cost solar. Or text the keyword Rob and Ning to 888-807-1119.
Isang linggo ng hapon, habang nasa bahay ang mag-asawa,
So I was in my apartment watching Adobo Nation one day, and I saw a segment on that with Rob and Ning, and they were talking about real estate I was interested in, so maybe I can talk to them about my options. So I decided to call them first thing the next morning.
samantala nalaman na ni Ana ang buong kwento tungkol sa problemang pinansyal ng kanyang asawa.
At first, I was in shock. Kasi hindi ko alam na ganun pala talaga kaseryoso yung, at least for me, sa akin, na seryoso pala yung problema niya. And then, wala man lang siyang sinasabi sa akin. If I look back, parang feeling ko lang I was useless. I was useless na wala akong magawa para tumulong sa asawa ko. I felt bad kasi syempre, mag-asawa kami, dapat nagtutulungan kami. And
Nagsimula kaagad sina Rob and Ning na ayusin ang sitwasyon ni Bob.
The first step was to try to find a primary residence for me before short selling the house. So my credit was still good and still working full time, so I had income. And Rob and Ning helped me find a home here in Danville, California. For the Union City property, I ended up doing a 1031 exchange on a short sale, which was severely underwater. And in doing that, I was able to acquire 4 different properties. It was a big relief to have at least the short sale completed and to have the new properties, knowing that they were going to be better performing, knowing that there would be some potential asset appreciation on that. So I started to feel a great sense of relief.
Sa gitna ng lahat, natutunan ni Ana ang tungkol sa real estate. At sa ganung paraan ay naging bahagi na rin siya ng mundo ng kanyang asawa.
Anna was much more aware of the situation, especially in talking with Rob and Ning, who were really patient in explaining the details on the transactions, and with both Anna and myself. So I think just having her be there with me, and we were able to support each other in that way.
Naliliwanagan ako, ang dami kong natututunan kila Rob and Ning. And they were very, very patient with me. Natutuwa ako kasi they really want me to be part of it.
Tila maayos na sa wakas ang estado ni Bob. Hanggang
So everything was going great at the time, and exchanges were done, and I was putting all that information in my taxes, and then all of a sudden I would get this letter from the IRS requesting an audit.
So when we found out na gusto naman pala talaga niyang magkaroon ng bahay, right? Yun yung priority niya, kaya nga lang napupull siya because of itong problema ng underwater property. Kaya we put a strategy together, right? And we said na, you know what? You need to buy your own house first.
Yeah, and and that kind of shocked him because he's so focused on his main problem, which is the short sale.
Right.
And so when we redirected him, he was
got
like
excited.
He was excited, but
Yeah.
kind of like, what? Right? And so that's what we did.
Yes.
Right? And we took him out, and we took him all over the Bay Area.
Right.
Found him a beautiful home in the East Bay. Still lives in it, and they're very happy there.
That's right.
And so that was kind of the twist in this, was to get the home first,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Before we do this very complicated, very, hard sort of 1031 exchange. And the 1031 exchange is basically to take that tax that he was going to owe and change it and take it and diversify it into other properties,
Right. Ang complication ng kay Bob, kasi sinabi natin, pagka ang 1031 exchange, kung ano po yung ating gain o kung ano yung pera natin sa property na ibibenta, kinakailangan tayong humanap ng kapalit doon sa ibibenta na bahay na yon. So, ang ini-exchange po natin is, kumbaga, yung equity, may equity. Pero on Bob's case,
Yeah.
wala siyang equity. Actually, magbabayad pa nga siya ng taxes on that property.
Yeah, and so that's kind of why his tax advisors, they're thinking, how could he do a 1031
Yeah.
exchange with no money in his property?
That's right.
And so that was the part that was, the tough thing to kind of understand. But it's legal and it's valid. And what we did was we had to find seller carry,
Yeah.
right? So we sold the property, did the 1031 exchange, and got 3 seller carry properties, right?
You want me to explain what seller carry, Rob?
Yeah.
Okay. Ang seller carry po is, halimbawa, ako yung may-ari ng bahay and Rob wants to buy my house. So, pwede po na ako yung maging lender ni Rob. So, iyon pong ibebenta ko sa kanya yung property, pero mananatili ako sa loan at ike-carry ko yung papers. Ibig sabihin, ako yung magsisilbing lender niya, babayaran niya ako, pero babayaran ko naman yung lender ko.
Yeah, and so why does a seller do that? The seller may do it because he needs tax relief, right?
Yes.
Or he needs to get rid of the property and trying to sell in a bad market, right?
Right.
So we had to find 3 of those.
Right.
And fortunately we did.
Yeah.
And we sold that property. Now the downside for Bob, and that's why we did the house first, was his credit was gonna,
That's correct.
you know,
Yeah.
get hurt by that, right?
Right. And again, ulitin ko po, napaka-importante yung one-on-one consultation. You don't want to jump into what we think is, kung ano yung tama sa tingin natin. Kasi like Bob, akala niya talagang magbabayad siya ng 100,000. There's no other option. Pero meron palang solusyon yun.
And now Bob, his stress level, his health
Yeah.
is recovering,
Yeah.
right? He's happier. Anna is happier. I mean, the whole family living in, this beautiful home, they're much happier.
And I remember si Anna, sumasama sa mga meetings natin, right? And so, unti-unti niyang natutuhan yung about real estate, o ganun pala yun. And then later on, siya na yung nagmamanage ng mga properties.
So here we are, home, happy, short sale completed, and those properties that are 100% seller carry
Yes.
are starting to go up in value.
Right.
Right? And getting a little bit of cash flow, right?
That's correct.
So everything looks like everything's going perfectly. And then out of the blue, he gets a very bad letter from the IRS.
Naku, pumalpak ba ang plano natin kay Rob? Well, alamin po natin sa pagbabalik ng Keeping It Real with Rob and Ning.
They would probably disallow the 1031 exchange altogether, and I would be facing a large tax liability.
Use the QR code on your screen to ask about no upfront cost solar. Or text the keyword Rob and Ning to 888-807-1119.
Laking gulat ni Bob nang nalaman niyang ma-audit siya ng IRS gawa ng transaksyong naganap nang ibenta ang kanyang problemadong bahay.
The audit itself was very nerve-wracking in itself, just working with someone that probably wasn't the most experienced with 1031 exchanges. But by the end of the audit meeting, she had basically made a comment that they would probably disallow the 1031 exchange altogether, and I would be facing a large tax liability.
Nabulilyaso ba ang mga payo at plano ni na Rob and Ning kay Bob? Bumalik na naman ang mga araw na hindi siya mapakali, mga gabing hindi siya makatulog.
I wasn't sure what happened with my tax return. I wasn't sure if it was a mistake that I made on the return itself, or was something incorrect with the 1031 exchange altogether.
But in my heart, I really wanted to help him. I didn't want to see him suffer.
Pero pagkaraan ng 2 linggo, nagbago ang ihip ng hangin.
I got a letter in the mail from the IRS basically saying that upon further review that the 1031 exchange is valid and there's no issues with it and everything was fine with that, with a big sigh of relief.
Hindi humina ang loob ni Bob sa kabila ng mga dinaanan nito. Bagkus, sunod-sunod ang mga matagumpay at kapaki-pakinabang na investment na tinahak nila ni Anna sa tulong ni na Rob and Ning.
Over the years, I was working with Rob and Ning continuously, getting into other 1031 exchanges in-state in California and out-of-state in Arizona and Nevada, and successfully completed exchanges in different areas. So I was really happy about that.
I'm really happy with our relationship with Rob and Ning. I would say, pamilya ko sila dito, especially sa akin. Wala yung mga magulang ko. Sila yung pamilya ko dito, si Rob and Ning.
I can see myself in real estate for a long, long time. As long as I have, Rob and Ning.
Anna is forever grateful that what started as a lifeline for Bob grew into a friendship to last a lifetime.
From the bottom of my heart, talagang nagpapasalamat ako sa kanila. Dahil kung hindi sa tulong nila, hindi rin namin malalampasan yung problema namin. And hindi rin kami siguro darating sa ganitong sitwasyon. Kung nasaan man kami ngayon. Yun lang, maraming salamat, Robin.
When he left that audit, right, there was no solution other than what she told him. And what she told him was this: I'm not going to allow that 1031 exchange, right?
Right.
So he's going home thinking, what did I just do?
Yeah, actually, hindi nakatulog si Bob noon, nung gabi na yon, right? Sinabi niya sa atin yun, senior niya sa atin yung frustration na yon. Kasi akala niya, there's something wrong with the plan. But then, kagandahan dito sa mag-asawang Bob and Anna, very organized po sila in terms of documentations and everything. Kaya nung lahat ng hininging documents ng IRS, they were able to provide.
Yeah, and so quite honestly, Bob and I talked and we said, listen, we're not just going to accept their ruling.
Yeah.
If we have to, we'll get an attorney, we'll get our CPA, we'll take this to the court. They have an IRS court. I just remember Bob calling us, right? And I'm worried too. I slept, and I did sleep during those 3 weeks, but I was stressed, right? Because it's our plan.
That's right.
And so I just remember him calling, and he said, Rob, guess what? I said, what? He goes, I got a letter from the IRS. Now I'm worried. And he says, the letter stated, in general, it just stated, upon further review, right, we are going to accept your 1031 exchange. Ning, the takeaways here, with Bob, for people out there, is number one, do not let your emotions get in the way of doing a plan, right? Get your research, do your research. We call that due diligence in real estate, right? And then have the courage to take those steps to execute the plan.
That's right. Kasi lahat naman po merong risk, right? I mean, even yung nakatira tayo sa sarili nating property, merong risk doon, mag-invest tayo, meron din. So kung talaga pong tayo ay magpo-focus kung ano talaga yung goal natin at magkikreate tayo ng plan towards getting that goal and stay on track, I think we will be okay.
Of course, we love Bob and Anna. I mean, they're special clients, now special friends, and we do a lot with them. And it's been a decade of investing and fun and all kinds of things. So we want to thank them, for sharing their story. Hi guys, it's Rob here. Today I'm going to teach you how to shoot a three-pointer, and I'm going to give you 3 points if you're ever caught into an IRS audit. As you know, the IRS can be intimidating, and there's 2 different types of audits. They can send you a letter audit, or they can call you to come in person. In many cases, the audits could be random, or they'll have a specific situation that they want clarification on. Like a three-pointer, you need to be mentally prepared and you need to focus. You need to focus on what the issue truly is with the IRS, and you need to have good records. Do not be afraid of the IRS. They make mistakes as well. Some of our clients that end up in an IRS audit, they give us a call and they just can't sleep and they're very worried. If you mentally prepare, you will be able to not only sleep, but you'll be able to get your records and your resources together to go to the IRS in a strength position, not a weak position. And you need to focus. Focus on why they are actually auditing you. Sometimes it's just a random audit. Sometimes it's an audit on a particular sort of transaction. Either way, do not be afraid of them. The IRS makes many mistakes, and the IRS will be forgiving if you can prove to them that what you're doing is correct and accurate. So again, if you catch yourself in an IRS audit, number one, call a good professional, CPA, enrolled agents that can help you in the audit. Two, maintain your focus on the issue at hand. Do not get distracted. And number three, be mentally ready. Get your records ready. Be prepared. Try to get yourself in a position of strength, not weakness. And do not be afraid of the IRS. Just like an IRS audit in basketball with a three-pointer, you got to be prepared and you got to have mental focus. Thank you, Bob and Anna, for sharing your story. And if it inspired you and it inspired you to become an investor, give us a call at 888-860-9530, or you can visit us online.
Or go to our website po and schedule yourself for a free consultation with either Robert or Ning, and visit our Facebook page, Get Real with Rob and Ning.
That's true. And don't forget to join us again next week on Keeping It Real with Rob and Ning. Until then, bye.
Use the QR code on your screen to ask about no upfront cost solar. Or text the keyword Rob and Ning to 888-807-1119. Save up to 50% on your electric bill with Sunrun. Use the QR code on your screen to ask about no upfront cost solar. Or text the keyword Rob and Ning to 888-807-1119.